Hi and welcome to Polly Puts the Colour On. In this video I'm going to start showing you all of the completed pages that I've got in my Millie Marotta colouring books. I say start showing you because I've got 9 of her books. I think I've got all of them apart from like the miniature ones and the compilation books. So I've got a lot of books and quite a lot of completed pages, so this is definitely going to be a part 1 part 2 kind of situation. So if you're interested in watching them, obviously make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss part 2, which should hopefully be out sometime within the next week of this video going live. So in this video I'll share with you my completed pages in Animal Kingdom. This was my very first ever adult colouring book, so I've got quite a lot done in it, even if it isn't the best colouring, but I thought it'd be interesting for you to see the very start of my colouring journey. Then we've got Tropical Wonderland, Wild Savannah, and I'll also share Beautiful Birds and Treetop Treasures in this one. And then next time, if you check back for part 2, you'll see Woodland Wild, Curious Creatures, Secrets of the Sea, Island Escape, and then Precious Planets. Okay, so let me move the ones out of the way that are going to be for part 2. And here in part 1, obviously we'll be starting in Animal Kingdom. So this, like I say, was my very first ever adult colouring book. So I've got a lot done, even if it isn't always the best colouring. I remember being so excited to get it. I think I bought it on Amazon and couldn't wait to get going and really enjoyed myself. So I did this double page spread. I used to just work through my books in order. And then at some point I kind of realised, why am I doing that? I need to just look and pick the pages I really want to colour. But I did pencil on this one, a little bit of gel pen on the eyes. I remember it taking absolutely ages, as you can imagine, with all the fiddly bits. But I do quite like how this turned out. Nice and bold and bright. We've got this double page of elephants, again, just cheap pencils. A little bit of glitter gel pen up there. There's not really much to say about these ones. Did colour that one in as well. I say, you know, the blending and that on the pencil, not the best, but they were really cheap. I don't even know what brand of pencils they were, to be honest. I got rid of them years ago. They were just like Cheap and Cheerful off Amazon. Did these dragonflies, again, just pencil when I started. Just had pencil and then just a few gel pens. So I did try and add a very soft layer of pencil. I don't think it will pick up on the camera. Super light layer of pencil just in these bubbly bits. And then done that one. I do like the colour palette on here, even if it isn't the best colouring. I thought that one was quite pretty. Then we've got this. I remember getting a bit bored colouring this one. So it's not really, I really do like Millie Marotta's style. But you'll see as we get a bit further through all the pages that I've completed, I've certainly got certain styles of her pages that I much prefer, and these sort, they're really pretty, but they're not really my thing to colour. I've got those really bold moths, butterflies, whatever. I think they're moths, aren't they? They were fun to colour. I do like the colour palettes that I used on those. And we've got this little chap here and that one there. And then this one does make me smile. I don't quite know what I was thinking about the bright coloured eyes, but I do like how he looks a bit cross-eyed. I think he looks quite cute. So water-based markers on the eyes, and then just pencil. I did a bit of water-based markers on these darker bits around here as well. Then just water-based markers on here. So these are the sorts of pages that I really enjoy colouring, where she's done the animal but kind of out of like the leaves and the flowers. I think they're just absolutely stunning and a lot of fun to colour because they're quite quick to do. Now, this is the point at which I realised, actually, why am I going through them in order? I don't want to colour these pages. I really can't see me ever colouring these pages. So then we'll start to find that, like, I started chopping and changing a bit on what I coloured. So we've got this bird here, just water-based marker. So I picked just a few colours to try to spread them out through. And then here I'm trying to use up some different glitter gel pens and neon gel pens, hence it being a bit bold and not very cohesive, but it was fun to colour, and it kind of used up some pens that I'd had hanging around for ages. And then we've got this double page, again, just old gel pens that I was trying to get used up. Used a circle template, and I think this would have been my Bambino crayons, to add a little bit of a background with those circles, which I think looks quite sweet. Same again on this page, some water-based markers, mainly gel pens, and those Bambino crayons with the circle stencil. And I'm not sure what to do for a background. I do that sometimes because I think it adds a bit of something without it being too overwhelming and busy. Then we've got this one. I'm really pleased with how this one turned out. Again, just water-based markers, a bit of distress ink for the background and water splatter. So I do really like how pretty and bright this is. And then because this is one of her early books, there was the random bits of writing on some of the pages. So I got a bit of washi tape and covered up the writing. So it still looks random with having a bit of washi tape there, but I do prefer it with the washi tape than being able to see that random writing. And we've got this cute little bunny. Again, just water-based markers, Bambino crayons with the circle template around the end. So that was quite sweet. I do like the slightly muted autumnal style colour palette there. That was a cute one to do. And then we've got another double page. Again, you see a bit of a theme in this book. Water-based markers, Bambino crayons there. And then quite a limited colour palette here on this one. Again, water-based markers. Same blue washi tape. So I say these are my favourite of her illustrations, the ones where it's got the animal and they're done at the flowers and the leaves, because I normally just pick a few colours and then get on with it. I do really like taking part in Amanda Colours colour palette, you know, the monthly one that she shares from Sarah Renee Clark, because I find that really useful. I'll look at the colours and then I'll look through and choose a page that I think suits it. So we've got here these cute giraffes. I think these were Prismacolor, and then I've used some of the same colours with the circle templates. Add a little bit of a background, so I do like how that turned out. I thought it looked a bit like the mum and dad and then the baby. Then over here, water-based markers again, and then again there's the random writing, which is why it's got the random washi tape on to try and cover it up. It's a very, very bright page, but it does make me smile when I look at this one because I do think it turned out quite cute. And then another Prismacolor page. Again, I think this would have been for one of Amanda Colours monthly colour prompts. A little bit of black gel pen on the nose and the eyes there, but other than that, just Prismacolor. A little bit of washi tape around the edge. And then over here, again, another one for Amanda Colours monthly challenge. So it's Prismacolors. And then again, there's a little, I don't think, no, there was a little bit of writing here. There was a little bit of writing, so I covered over the writing, and then I thought, oh, well, that looks really random, just having washi tape there. So then I just added a few more random bits around, so it still looks a bit odd, but at least it's covered the writing up. And then that's everything that I've got coloured in Animal Kingdom. So as you see, my colouring has really changed, especially as my supplies have changed. So then we've got Tropical Wonderlands. And then again, you'll see that I started colouring right from the start, and then started chopping and changing which pages I did. So again, just cheap and cheerful pencils here on this double page spread, but I do like how bright they are. And then this double page, I remember getting really bored colouring the trees and the branches, but it was like, I can't leave it half coloured, that's not me. So I persevered and I got there in the end. And then we've got this one. I quite enjoyed colouring the snake with choosing all the different colours and making it really bright. And then these flamingos again, just cheap pencils, no shading or anything. And then we've got this double page. I got a bit bored with all the leaves, I seem to remember, but I did enjoy doing all the bright bugs with gel pen. Didn't do a background because I didn't have any chalk pastels or anything that might have worked well for a background. Then we've got lots of glitter gel pen. I don't know whether it's the camera's going to pick up all the sparkle where all the glitter off the gel pen's kind of spread around a bit. So really, really bright there and shiny. And we've got this cute little guy. Pretty much all gel pens, I think. Maybe the odd water-based markers. I think they turn out quite cute. Quite nice and bright. Then we're back to just pencils. No blending or anything. Like I say, this was really early on in my colouring. Didn't have a clue about different techniques. Then we've got these 2 hours, and he's very bright. I do know that, but I do quite like how that one's so pale and that one just looks so fluorescent and neon. I think as a double page, they look quite amusing together, don't they? Because they're just so different. And then we've got this double page again. I got a bit bored colouring this one. So many leaves. Got a bit bored on trying to pick different colour combinations to make them all look a little bit different. And that's the point in this book where I was like, no, I'm going to start missing out some pages and just colour the ones I want to. So I skipped those two because I thought, no, not feeling those, and jumped to this one. And then I did these. So these are a little bit more recent. These would have been in the last couple of years. So these would have been for Amanda Colours monthly colour challenge. See that again as a repeating theme through Millie Marotta's books. I find it a useful way of choosing a page of hers to do by looking at the colours that are suggested and thinking, right, what animal might these work for? So we've got that cute little guy there. So Prismacolor for the actual frog, and a little bit of acrylic pen for a bit of a pattern in the background. Prismacolor again here, and again there was a little bit of writing, which is why I've got the random bits of washi tape to cover it up a little bit. And then we skip on quite a bit to these ones. I do really like how both of these pages turned out. So both of them actually, again, the colour palette suggested each month. I didn't realise quite how long I've been doing that for till I looked through and thought, yeah, use the colour palette for that. Yeah, use it for that one. Like so many Millie Marotta pages I've got done because of Amanda Colour suggesting, you know, what Prismacolors will match with which colours. So that's really helpful. So I've done Prismacolor there, bit of black glitter gel pen, distress ink in the background, and I splattered a little bit of watercolour paint as well. And over this side again, Prismacolor for the actual animal. There was a little bit of writing, so again, the random washi tape to try and cover it. And then I don't think it was distress ink in the background. I think that was when I bought some gel crayons, looking at the colours, because I don't think I've got distress inks in that colour. So I do like quite how different these pages are, even though they are next to each other. Then I've got this one. So again, Prismacolors for the animal. And then again, there was the random writing. So I've used washi tape. I feel like I could have just, you know, recorded myself saying that clip and then just played on repeat, because especially in the early books, there's a lot of random writing, which kind of ruins the pages. Thankfully, that didn't continue in all of her books. And Johanna Basford used to do that a lot as well, didn't she? I just think it distracts a bit from the actual main image. So here again, Prismacolors. Do really like how this one turned out, especially how full the page is with this elephant. And then that's everything that I've got coloured in Tropical Wonderland. Then we come to Wild Savannah. Again, you'll see in the start I've used lots of water-based markers and then branched out into other mediums, and also just my cheap and cheerful pencils that I used to have. So we've got that double page spread there. I do like the colours I used, and with how cheap the pencils were, I think it turned out all right, to be honest. Then here we've got a mix of pencils and then water-based markers. And then water-based markers here. I think this was probably when I first got these ones, the Staedtler Tri Plus. Because I do remember sitting and choosing some of these colours for these. I do really like how he turned out. It's really bright. This one. Do you like the different colours that I used to try and repeat it through? That one turned out quite sweet. Then we've got another double page where it's kind of got the animal with the patterns and then the animals without. You know, I've done it colourful that side, bit plainer that side. Not much to say about these ones. I mean, that's a bit boring, isn't it? But there we are. I was never going to draw patterns on. I'm not much of a drawer. So then here again, water-based markers. Do quite like the colour scheme on that one as well. Do really want to do that page at some point because I think that just looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So if there is any books, any pages you'd maybe like to do a buddy colour on, please drop me a comment below or get in touch with me on Instagram. It'd be lovely to set one up for at some point. Even if you're watching this in a few months' time, the offer's still there. So this was actually a page that my daughter picked out for me to colour. So I tried watercolour pencils, I believe, in the background. Don't think the gradient's too bad this side, but it was quite hard to get into the spine. So I don't really like how the finish is there, but there we are. So I did some watercolour pencils and then just some Prismacolors, and then splattered a little bit of watercolour paint, a bit of gel pen. I do quite like how this one turned out. I'm not normally much for trying like different things with my backgrounds and doing like sunsets or sunrises or anything, but I am pleased that I tried that. Just need to practice doing it a bit more, I think, to get better at it. Then we've got this one, again, water-based markers, few gel pens. I do really like how sweet they look against the parent there. Wall Prismacolor pencils here, and then a bit of washi tape. I want to hazard a guess that this again was probably for the monthly colour palette. This one, I do really like how this one turned out. It looks so sweet. So again, the colour palette, and they're not colours that I would have put together, but I just think they're just so clever, aren't they? How well all the colours work together with the ones when they're suggested. And then a little bit of water, but colour paint spattered in the background, bit of black gel pen there. And then I think I've only got one left in this book, and it's this capybara. Again, the colour palette. I can tell because I've used Prismacolors, so I know if I've used Prismacolors in my Millie Marotta books, it'll be because it was suggested by Amanda Colours monthly prompts. And I do really like how kind of spring-like this palette looks. And then just put a tiny little bit of washi tape at the top and bottom to finish that page off. Then we're on to my last book for this part one, Beautiful Birds and Treetop Treasures. I think because this one must sit in the middle of my Millie Marotta books on my shelf, I think I must have a tendency of either picking the ones at the start or the ones at the end, because I don't seem to have that many colours out of this one, even though I do really like a lot of the pictures in it. And I have had it for a while, like it's not her newest book or anything, but I just don't seem to have as many coloured in this as others, even though I do like a lot of the artwork. So I do need to remember to get back to this one sometime. I think sometimes when they're on your shelf, you forget like which ones have had the most coloured in, don't you? So water-based markers on here. Do kind of like the colour scheme. I'm just not sure about the eyes. They look a little bit weird, don't they? Like with the yellow eyes. I do like the pop of pink on it though. I think that looks different, but might need to go back in sometime and add a bit of black gel pen to the eyes, because I think I was trying to stick too closely to whatever colour palette I'd found. And yeah, I don't know. Not sure on the eyes on that one. And then there's this pretty one here. I really do like the simplicity of this one. Water-based markers again, just picked out a few and then just repeated them through the pattern. I just find that's the best way of kind of tackling these pages. Try and either get a colour palette or just pick just small handful of pens or pencils that you quite like and just go for it. So there again, water-based markers, you can see, you know, I've not gone over with any pencil shading or anything because this was done a while ago, but I do really like how it's coloured, like in terms of the colour scheme. I think it just looks so sweet with the big bushy tail wrapped around, don't they? Then we've got this one here again, water-based markers, and then the Bambino crayons. I don't think you can get those anymore. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, because I do quite like them. But I think they went out of business, didn't they? So I've used those in the background. I do really like this one. I want to colour this one at some point. I think that one just looks so sweet. Then we've got this, I think it's a little bee, isn't it? I think. Water-based markers for the actual design, and then distress ink, a bit of water splatter, the tiniest little bit of watercolor paint splattered on. Love how vibrant that one turned out. And then I think I've only got one left in this book, actually. So we've got this one again. Just picked out a handful of colours out of my water-based markers. Little bit of chalk pastel in the background. I can tell from how I coloured the background, this one would have been quite an old one. I think, when did this book come out? This book was 2017, so this was probably coloured in 2017, 2018 maybe. I don't tend to date my pages, but this has obviously been done a while ago. So I do really like how you can see the difference in my colouring style from, say, slightly more recent one to like my very first kind of pages that I did. Like, there's a world of difference, but I've been colouring for quite a while now. I think Animal Kingdom was the first one I got, and this came out in 2014, this one, and I think I did buy this in 2014. So I have been colouring for over 10 years. This was done probably within the last year, I would say. So, you know, with time comes experience, doesn't it? And I've been watching a lot of different people's YouTube channels. So I've definitely picked up an awful lot along the way. And it's kind of one reason why I wanted to start my YouTube channel, to try and connect with other people, and just expand on my colouring journey, just to make more friends online who also love this incredible hobby. So yeah, it'd be lovely to hear from you. If you want to drop a comment down below. Do you like Millie Marotta books? Which one's your favourite? Do you maybe have one and you find you don't colour in it much? Because I hear people saying that a lot. But I think it does very much depend on what illustrations you pick. Like, that's really cute, but I know I don't think I would want to colour that amount of leaves. Whereas something like that, I know that's not going to take me too long. If I just pick a handful of colours, I can have that done probably in a couple of hours. So they are approachable, they are manageable. I think it's just picking the right medium and the right page. But yeah, get in touch. Lovely to hear from you. Keep a lookout for part 2. So please click subscribe so that you don't miss out on seeing part 2. To see my even more recent coloured pages in Millie Marotta's gorgeous books. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. When I see that people are watching and clicking like and everything, it does mean a lot. So take care, everyone, and I'll catch you in part 2.